The anti-free speech and anti-scrutiny Scottish National Party have done it again, as there is a new row inside the party over banning the media and even independent journalists from the leadership election. Now, this Scottish National Party leadership election is it's like a gift. It's like a Christmas present to me that's come early. Every day we have SNP shenanigans to report on this channel. The last 24 hours, they've been all over the place over one simple issue. Whether they should ban or not ban media and journalists when it comes to the SNP leadership election. What? Why? It's funny because these are the same people and the Labour Party and the Green Party who would have had a meltdown if the Tory leadership election were going to be doing the exact same thing. They were very much in favour of scrutiny, media scrutiny, and exposing all the dodgy stuff if it's a different party, if it's Tories in government, for example. But when it comes to them, and they are the party of government when it comes to the Scottish administration, no, things changed and we have to ban media. So this part of SNP is saying we should ban it. This part say we shouldn't ban it. They keep briefing the papers. One day they say, yes, everything's now banned. And then some rogue person from SNP HQ would also brief another journalist saying, we might actually make a U-turn on it. Now that the leadership election candidates are all attacking each other, which is absolutely beautiful. Let's get into it. So, an SNP NEC spokesperson said initially that the SNP members are the lifeblood of our party and our movement. It is the members who will be voting for the next leader of the party. So the SNP NEC has designed the party hustings as a safe space for members to ask questions of the three candidates. Oh, so when it comes to the SNP, it's the internal party members who vote and we should just shut up about it. But when it comes to the Tory leadership election, they say, why is it that the Prime Minister has been elected by a few thousand Tory members? Which again, that's also a problem. I'm not defending it. I'm saying that it just shows the pot kettle mentality. Both the Tories and the SNP are parties of government, respective governments. Now, why is it that it's okay for the SNP and a few thousand SNP members to elect their party leader who will be the First Minister of Scotland without any media scrutiny, but it's bad for the Tories to do it? What? It makes no sense. So, there's a society of editors who fight for media freedom, allegedly. They've actually come out to say that given that the upcoming SNP leadership election will determine the next First Minister of Scotland, it is outrageous that a decision has been made to conduct hustings events behind closed doors. So, if it were only one category of journalists or media people, then fine. But they are against BBC and Sky, the Times and Telegraph and all the newspapers, as well as independent journalists and new media. No one's allowed. So for those who would get excited and say, yes, I like that they banned BBC. Nobody likes the BBC. Yeah, go. I hate the BBC. No. They also banned everybody else. Even independent journalists and bloggers and everybody else. So it's not really fair. But they're just completely... They know what this election could do to the SNP. Because it will expose, as it's already doing, the idiocy and the craziness of the party members and their own people. Kate Forbes, who's essentially the less crazy candidate in this SNP election, who's already they're trying to cancel her because she has social conservative views on marriage and all this stuff. She now says that she's against it. She said we have to actually be in favor of scrutiny. And I know why she's in favor, because the more media scrutinizes this election, the more it's going to expose Humza Yousaf and the other idiot, Ash Reagan. So, Kate Forbes said that as you would expect for Scotland's biggest political party, there is considerable interest from members in listening to the forthcoming hustings. As the leader of the SNP will also become the First Minister, it is no surprise that the general public, as well as the media, are keen to follow the debate too. I have received messages from party members, the length and breadth of Scotland, because of all of the spaces for the hustings have been snapped up. Okay, that's one. We also even had people like Ash Reagan, who's another candidate, the third candidate, essentially. She has no chance, really. It's between Kate Forbes and Hamza Youssef, saying that the media have a job to do. And as candidates, we have a duty to be held to scrutiny. I firmly believe we should allow access and ask the media carry the proceedings fairly and fully, making them available to all. Today, I set out my action plan for the SNP, covering 4 key themes: transparency, accountability, modernity, and accessibility. It's important we talk about our values and elevate the tone of the debate. Now, in contrast to these two, initially when this whole thing came out, Hamza Youssef was the only candidate. To continue the candidate was pretty quiet. He was pretty in favour of banning the media. I wonder why. This is the same man who wrote the anti-free speech bill in Scotland. And then when they pressured him, he had to come out and say, by the way, I like the media. I like media scrutiny. I'm not really against it. So why are we so quiet on the idea to ban all of the media from the SNP leadership election hustings? It is what it is. Anyway, we're going to keep an eye on this election because it's absolutely fascinating and it's very entertaining. Subscribe to the channel. I'm Mahyar Tousi and we are the media.